Dog, the new Firefox update is actually garbage. Like, I don't understand what the Firefox developers are thinking. When the new updates of Firefox are literally taking away the quick, lightweight features of why people used Firefox over Chrome. It's a fucking tragedy, dude. Like, I'm imagining in 3 years, Chrome is the only browser that's going to exist at this rate. I saw something that Firefox lost 40 million monthly active users. So after my browser updated yesterday, when I type stuff in text fields, stuff at the edge of the text field is cut off. Like when you're typing like A, B, C, D, E, and like the last letter you typed is E, you can't see the E. So then if you do like A, B, C, D, E, F, you won't be able to see the F, you'll be able to see the E then. Like they literally are breaking core features of their browser. I don't understand how a giant company, like, this is the crazy thing too, is like Firefox is arguably becoming more of a giant company now that they have a huge CEO who's paid, or like a CEO who's paid a very huge amount. It's like, oh, the benefits of that is that the browser improves a whole bunch, right? Oh my god. I swear to god, modern software is getting worse. It's not getting better. Alright, so I was thinking about this. I said last night that I needed to add a bit more to these cartoon post-processing effects. I need to add like a buffer system. I don't think I need to do that because, what's it called? Do I have flat lighting on? Or is that just the way the sphere light... No, that's just the way the sphere light works. Anyways, I realized Unity has the temporary render texture, so I don't really need to allocate buffers for people. They can easily do that in their post-processing effects. I just need to set up the depth buffer, and I think we'll do that at the very end. The lighting system doesn't look horrible. Change how sharp it is. What if I do negative radius? Oh, that doesn't change anything because it's squared. I'm still skeptical that this doesn't have bugs in it. Maybe it does. I'm also kind of orienting like what do I need to do now that the sphere lights are good? So I'm thinking I'm gonna add a sphere lights limit to this, because I think there's some platforms where this will completely unroll, and basically reducing this number will actually optimize it. I'm just thinking though, I need to mark that this is an integer, I think, under this auto configuration. If I add this here, it'll think it's a float right now because I don't have any flag for it being an integer. I guess I'll just add is int. I'll put some music on. Damn, these kicks are really bass boosted. think there's an int slider, right? Int slider, yep. Cast these from float to integer. Alright. So now we should be able to edit cartoon sphere lights inside this config editor window. Come on, Unity, you can compile. That's so weird. It almost is like it's importing. It's almost like it's importing shaders when I do that, even though it should just be rendering. So let's try turning off sphere lights. Nice, so our sphere light is gone now. Okay, that's actually really nice. Alright, I forgot my water in the kitchen. I'll be right back. Alright, so when I output 0 here, I think I want it to output 0.0. I'm not 100% certain. I actually guess it doesn't matter. For the integer though, I definitely need to have this output. Oh god, that's a really annoying, the hell is that? That was not a pleasant sounding audio. So anyways, if this is integer, we don't do float conversion, we do integer. So if isInt, otherwise we do float. Can I set 1E4 here? I can, okay. Yeah, what is up with these high pitch sounds? In this audio mix, the like almost like chime sound in the background that's like a high pitch ring, it does not sound pleasant to me. Man. Alright, so I'm just kind of like getting a grasp on what I still need to do for the render pipeline. I think I just need shaders. I've got like a standard textured shader here, but I think I just need like terrain shaders and particle shaders now. So like the terrain here isn't being displayed. So... and then also, I need particle shaders. That I'm trying to think, what else would there be that I need? Anyways, let's look at making our terrain shaders. So I should have, I think in my custom render pipeline scene here, yeah, terrain shader. Alright, so I'm thinking of putting this I was thinking about wrapping these functions up, but like, I don't know. Oh my god, this is so disgusting too. There's like not even C buffers or anything. There are a bunch of times when I literally feel like Unity developers don't understand how their own engine works. Or like what I'm guessing happened was that the people who wrote the main shader code For the people who designed the shader loading system that loads in constant buffers and all that stuff wasn't the same people that wrote these terrain shaders and things. I'm just trying to remember, where did I get this terrain code from? Like, where did I get these values? I guess we don't need to care. Pretty sure I got it from here. Standard base gen. Yeah, I copied the splat map mix. So I'm fine with this code here. What I'm mainly looking for is what's in the splat map common, which should have, I'm hoping it has C buffers. C buffers are basically like wrappers. It basically tells things like Vulkan and DirectX 11 and 12 how to wrap shader variables into like buffers together and makes instancing and stuff more efficient, but it requires you to manually list your variables under certain categories. Oh my god, I opened it in the wrong editor. Nope, the code is literally the same, okay. Yeah, and there's no C buffers defined here. Well, whatever. Just wondering, geometry minus 99. I wonder if I need to put the add pass in another... I probably need to put the add pass in another queue, just to be safe. I don't know, geometry minus 99. I guess they're just put in the same queue. Anytime I try to understand this Unity shader code, it just completely messes with my head. So how's the add pass different? It's like, do I want to try to understand this Unity code? Or should I guess I should just copy and paste it and just move on with my day. But a bunch of this code is reused between the additive and terrain pass, so I definitely feel like I should... Like, I think basically everything is the same except for the clipping. Clip weight equals 0. Huh. And shouldn't clip work on mobile anyways? I don't get why not shader API mobile. Doesn't clip work absolutely fine even on like the lowest versions? OpenGL. I don't get this. I do not get Unity shader code. They spelled overall wrong. Saw some bugs related to clipping in Chrome GPU. Huh. So how would I make this really nice? So all it does is pass normal text coordinate. What really annoys me about this is that Unity was so close to writing an actual, like, terrain, I don't know, API, like an actual function that you can call to get terrain data, and they just completely missed the mark because it relies on you using surface shaders that now are removed from the engine and are deprecated. And they're still using it while telling you to not use it because it's deprecated. Mind-boggling. Oh my fucking god, the state of Unity, dude. I feel like most of this stuff is just in the graphics department. Like, actually, I don't know. They're trying to redo the physics engine right now, and it's a complete joke. I actually feel like the future of Unity is not looking good. I guess I could make my own terrain CG include. It really bugs me doing development that I feel like is supposed to be done by Unity devs, not by me. Or like stuff that was previously designed, like this actually explains it. So when they designed this, they were like, oh, no one's gonna touch this except for Unity devs. Why would people ever need to customize their graphics or shaders? And now the issue is they've gone down the route of going, oh, we're going to provide a custom scriptable render pipeline for people who want it, and then they leave you with this absolute garbage shader code that they developed 15 years ago. Oh my god. So I guess there's no material properties. Are tangents accessed here, or... So I'm looking at what exactly does this change? Oh wait, I'm not supposed to edit this file, I'm supposed to edit this file. So we just need normal and text coordinate. Oh my god. The inability for this to detect proper tabs drives me fucking nuts, dude. And part of the thing is that it automatically changes them and formats them. Like, I almost feel like I should just turn off. Oh man, I wish you could set specific settings for one of these files instead of setting editor experience. I guess I could try this. But it's just like fiddling around with this stuff. Oh, I guess this is a shader, not even CG include. It's just like so ridiculously annoying having it mess up formatting. I actually need to look. There should be a way to temporarily disable formatting. It's so crazy though, where like tools like this that are supposed to be designed to make your life easier, they actually make it harder and make you type more code because they don't get the indenting correct. It's like it works great for C# and other stuff, but faces for no reason. See, here's the crazy thing though. There should be a very quick fix for this, because I need to constantly switch between it to do shaders. Like, oh my god, if the solution is to actually use a different text editors for shaders, that's so ridiculous. Like, so ridiculous. Let me try this, 1 second. I have a feeling when I edit this in a different text editor, it's going to give me line indentation errors. Wait, what? Undeclared identifier. But it's declared. How did I just all of a sudden get errors? Oh, it's in the terrain shader and it's saying it's standard. Of course. Okay, that makes sense. Oh yeah, I actually need to go in and change and register a file extension so that when I automatically open Dodge shaders and CG include, it automatically sets it to a specific editor. See if this gives me inconsistent line ending issues. Hey, it's not giving me inconsistent line ending errors. Yeah, okay, GTK source view language specs. not have permissions to save this file. I fucking hate Windows, dude. I fucking hate Windows. I fucking hate Windows. What an absolute joke of an operating system. Alright, well I guess we gotta start our notepad with PowerShell in Administrator so that we can edit this as an admin. Absolute fucking clowns designing software these days, dude. Alright, so now when I open CG Include shaders, it should automatically, I might need to restart gedit to do it, but it should automatically apply. And now, imagine that gedit automatically calculates indenting and doesn't automatically format my code into absolute trash. Imagine that. Okay. So what do we have to do here? We have to now... So I think what this does is it calculates the normal, the vertex, and the text chord. Oh, it still does the object to clip position, object to world normal, separately though. I might put this in a define so that, see, the issue is I have if checks in here, so I actually can't put this in a define. But basically I wanted this to use different properties, but I guess so basically I wanted it to support different vertex and pixel data structures, but I figured out I'm just going to code it to just output vertex position. So is the CG shader language any better? Yeah, actually I just realized I probably want to register these under CG shader language, not... Yeah. That's actually a lot better. What attributes do I need? Hex cord. Does it use normal? Oh, it decodes the normal if it's instanced per pixel normal. Okay. Alright, so we need the vertex position, optionally the normal. I don't think we need the tangent because it computes it. Reconstruct the tangent space in the pixel shader seems to be hard with surface shader. Visual and other attributes are packed together with T-space. I don't understand what that means, and I've been reading Unity shader code all morning. So do I need the UV, or does it set the UV? So I guess it uses the UV. So I guess the tangent is only if you actually use the tangent, which we don't. Oh, so I guess it calculates the tangent itself when it needs it. It's kind of shoddy, but I guess it works. Wait, what's text chord 321? I guess we don't need that. I think that's it. And then we just apply this stuff normally. So vertex normal UV instance ID terrain process vertex normal UV implicitly convert float 2 to float 4. Alright, now we need the terrain splat map processing from here. That'll give us diffuse and normal. Alright, so what do we use here? We use text chords. Use the normal. And I think that's it. So, I guess none of the splat. I kind of want an emissive terrain surface. But I literally don't think that data is included. I could have sworn that with like the universal render pipeline and terrain layers, they have emission. They don't have emission. Not just that, but where's the smoothness and metallic accessed here? The smoothness or metallic should be interpolated here as well, I believe. I guess maybe... See, I could use smoothness and metallic as an actual emission value, assuming I can access these. I have a feeling, though, the universal render pipeline terrain shader is going to be somewhat different. Oh my god. So this is where the metallic and smoothness is. I know metallic 0 and smoothness 0. I wonder if you need to have these hidden in the inspector. I don't think you do. This one looking for terrain lit passes, yeah. Okay, so we got the same clip holes. The main thing is this has different HLSL syntax. Yeah, because this has normal maps, it actually has tangents in there. That's so weird. Where is it mixing? Default smoothness times diff albedo 0. So the alpha has smoothness, used as smoothness. Jesus Christ, this is some hacky development. So then, the smoothness should be weighted and multiplied by this weight, or the splat control, I guess. Huh, that's so weird. Maybe it's not calculating the smoothness there. Oh, here we go. Mask smoothness, dot by splat control, yeah. Alright, I don't think I'm going to bother putting any emission or anything in my terrain. I kind of get disgusted whenever I look at Unity shader code like that. So we output diffuse and normal. wonder, is if defined needed? So like I've noticed that in some parts of the code it does if def, and in other parts it does if defined, and in other parts it just does if. Test the value of what comes next. It's defined, 0 if not, if check's defined. Oh my god. I have issues in my code. So I need to change a bunch of these .if to if defined. I guess if def is the same as if defined. But doesn't allow composite checking. Okay. Very interesting.
When I'm dreaming, I know exactly where I am. I know exactly where I should go and where I should be.
I think if depth pass is still the correct way to do it though.
Passenger of none.
Not sure.
I'm in control.
Well, we'll see some bugs here if it isn't.
Leading the way.
No, that worked.
Empowered, beautiful, happy. My secrets, secrets you will never know and never experience. Existential perfection.
Wait. Why is this multiplied by the mixed normal? Was I just doing, I think I was just doing crappy lighting there. That's not actually part of the code.
When I'm dreaming, I know exactly where I am. I know exactly where I should be and where I should go. Passenger of none. In some place of the sun, to smile and to dance, pure happiness, existential perfection.
Alright, I think this is gonna work. And it's actually, honestly, I feel like this is gonna make the code look so much nicer, so then it just turns our actual terrain shader into terrain process vertex, and then terrain splat map.
Existential perfection. Beautiful. Happy. Existential perfection. Beautiful. Happy. Existential perfection. Beautiful.
I'm actually curious, does diffuse include Yeah, it includes alpha. Interesting. So you actually could put a mission as the alpha in here.
Existential perfection.
Error, unexpected token out. There we go. Okay, so let's look at our terrain. And cartoon render pipeline terrain. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is awesome. We have terrain. And we have shadows. So is that clipping? Oh, you can actually see the add pass clipping right here. It's subtle, but there's no add pass in actually right now, so I guess that's just rendering black. Either way, okay, I'm interested to see if shadows automatically work with the terrain, because it's just using our custom depth encoding, so we don't actually need another depth pass. So I guess let's put it... I think something's broken. This is weird. So because the terrain doesn't actually match up, it needs different shadow bias. Honestly though, it works pretty good. It is very weird how much shadow bias there is in here. Oh, and we've actually got a line. This is actually really good for testing shadow bugs. We've actually got a line along one of the edges. Actually, wait, that's just this. So I might actually want to change the shadow bias per object, because like these objects will want pretty close shadow bias, I think, but then like the terrain, it needs way more. So I guess I might make shadow bias local to the object. That makes things way more complicated though. I feel like all this issue though just comes from the terrain putting in a lower poly version, so like it renders the shadows here from the low poly version. And then when we go in and it has the higher poly version with all the details, I wonder if I could reduce this via the pixel error too. Oh yeah. So that reduces the errors a giant amount. But yeah, I definitely feel like I need some per object shadow bias option here, just for these. And it's like you probably want to be able to use a higher pixel error too. It's just so annoying because it all stems from Unity just not displaying the terrain perfectly. And then when the shadow bias goes up on the terrain, it actually looks so much nicer. You can actually get these steep angles, casting shadows without it being messed up. Dog, I compile one of my shaders, and it gives me a shader warning for one of Unity's Universal Render Pipeline shaders. I don't even know, dude. The engine is just like not amazing. Alright, so if we want to add a shadow bias into here, where would we add this? So this is the shadow bias right here. So this is normalized, which is actually an issue. I guess material shadow bias. So now the CG include should be able to access that, or not. Undeclared identifier shadow bias. Oh, I guess I need to define these before. Let me try that. There we go, okay. I should also do some checks to see if these will actually see, the big check will be after doing this. I'm going to do a build for Android and see if this works. And that's going to be the big check. Hold on 1 sec. issue was that, actually, is this all compiling correctly? I think it is. Okay. So the main issue with the terrain shadow bias was... Is this actually real time? Yes, it is. Okay. So if we put one of these objects onto the ground, you can see it's not an amazing example. I need to get the directional light at the right angle. Alright, this is actually a good example of the shadow bias. If you look right at the edge of this building here, you can see the shadow bias results in the shadow backing away from the building, like that. And like you actually get to a point where the shadow is completely gone from like the sphere if you do the shadow bias too high. So the huge issue is that our terrain being so inaccurate, when we have a low shadow bias that looks good for smaller objects, so basically we want a lower shadow bias that works for like these objects, but then the terrain, that shadow bias doesn't work. We want to scale up the shadow bias. And so this dithering on the side of the building is actually kind of nice. So this actually results in a sort of like lesser shading as the shadow shows up, which isn't horrible. It's actually better than most of the see, this is the really interesting thing, is like you want perfect graphics, but the reality is it's just like so far from that. All you can do is reduce these errors. So these errors popping up, basically all we can do is change the shadow bias for the terrain, because like I said, Unity renders the terrain with a pixel error, and even if we lower the pixel error, there is still error. So that leaves us with shadow bias. I just realized, so this doesn't actually change cast shadows now. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. So then under our terrain material, we should have, yeah, a shadow bias property. So now we can scale this up, and our shadow bias, our terrain can now get free of any shadow bias issues, still cast shadows, and we get no lower shadow bias here. Very happy with that. That's how it should be working. So I'm honestly very happy with this. I hate this terrain code that Unity wrote, and it kind of scared me. So putting it all in a file where I don't have to deal with it and I just call terrain process vertex and splat map is very nice. I'm also just thinking the terrain splat map actually isn't needed in the depth pass. So we can do if not defined depth pass. Yeah, to make it faster. Alright, so now it's just some more shaders. We need to do the terrain add pass, which should add support for more than 4 layers. I'm just thinking whether or not, I guess I might do blending. My issue is I don't think I'm really scaling down. I think I'm supposed to be scaling down the values here. It kind of looks like there are some gradients, but I think I'm supposed to be scaling down these values of the diffuse or something. I guess actually the diffuse will automatically get scaled down by being the mixed value. So I guess I'll just look at doing the add pass. See, that's the weird thing though, is I actually don't think their add pass is actually registered as additive in the Unity Unity built-in shaders. Let's see. Forward add. No, I guess maybe it has blending. I should maybe, let me just try Googling this. This is something that's existed for so long. Is terrain add pass additive blended? So I terrain with many layers. I want the higher layers to be drawn over the lower ones. Technique is additive. I get areas where terrain starts going white in some areas. Ooh, so I guess maybe I'll want to use a cutoff. I guess I will want... Add pass. You'll find the surface shaders identical as first pass. The differences are geometry 99 rather than using default blend mode. Additive pass specify using the decal add. Oh, now I learned something. Bit of logical thinking. The reason for these two shaders and their slight differences can be explained. The first add pass shader only has 4 texture slots available. Specify. See, I might do dithering here. I feel like dithering between them might actually be the best way of keeping it consistent. I'm almost wondering if it's supposed to have culling off too. I can't remember as well. How did I define... Was it in the asset that I returned? Yeah, okay. Train detail lit, detail billboard. And so then was the dependency the add pass? Ah, okay. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the washroom and then we'll do this.
To compare, step into a room of opaque air, could be enough. If only we are pilot once a day, could be enough.
Oh, and I guess I exclude this from the depth pass? Ooh. Ooh, the additive shader is actually really bad for the depth pass. Ooh. Yeah, so I actually don't think I can do additive and do the depth pass. I guess maybe I can detect if it's the depth pass and just output 0. So that it doesn't encode any depth. Add our dependency. Multipass shader, do you know discard behavior in Unity as alpha blend mesh is behind? Set clean color. Or like whether or not alpha blends mesh is behind depends on the rendering order. Oh. It looks like it's kind of working. feel like this might be a bit dark. And it's definitely not blending. But the shadows are working, which is very nice. So this is really weird. It's supposed to actually do blending between these, but it's definitely not doing blending between them. I wonder if I'm supposed to like multiply the add pass. Terrain. Oh, if terrain splat add pass.
I am impressed.
Thanks for the follow, Diddleadism. Although I don't think that that clip is gonna do anything. It's hard for me to tell. Oh yeah, that's definitely bugging out. Oh, look at that. So it's like, I don't know what you would call it. It's like blending in an area that it shouldn't blend. Yeah, I feel like additive is not going to work. Hold on, I'm gonna disable all the lighting in the scene. Just make it flat, just so I can debug this. Hello, Diladism. I feel like maybe... Huh. Nor I'll exit. Oh man, I hate dealing with like some of Unity's internal designs like this. So, I honestly don't know how this is supposed to work. It's the main issue, is because Unity designed this. So what should be happening here is, instead of clipping like that, it should be smoothly blending between them, just like how it does here. You can see it blends between the red and that texture. But then here, it goes from red to that texture with no blending. So... I don't know what's supposed to happen there. Like I thought that the mixed diffuse here would be scaled down. Normalize weights before lighting, restore weights and final modifier so overall lighting result can be correctly weighted. So I think I'm supposed to apply this weight back again. Oh my god. Times weight worked. Times weight worked. Yeah, I mean, it's like not perfect, but woo! There's our additive pass. Okay. Oh my god, I was not looking forward to doing these terrain shaders, so getting that working is like, woo! Oh, wait, I wonder if I should include that clip function in the terrain.cg include. I actually probably should, because for optimization. Oh, the music stopped. Wait, did YouTube remove autoplay? Because, like, I swear to God that videos aren't autoplaying anymore. Like, is that just me?
Y'all halfway peoples. I advise you not to try this. SS. Shabazz D. Sinister V's. Sinister voices. Yo. Action-packed Black Mac 10 Jr. and his friend, not apocalypse, starving brothers on a mission.
YouTube stop autoplay after 1 hour, that would explain it.
GW Bridge, got the weapon concealed, nothing to lose. They choose to break the rules at all costs, stick them in Jersey. Hit the other side to New York, black and red leather suits and black biker boots. One got the gun, the other one controls the motorbike. Adrenaline pumping, dreams of cash. Anybody try to stop them getting lead in their face, believe that. Black pack on his back, ready for loot to fill. With a thrill, they gonna be robbing that booth for real. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. They choose to break the rules at all costs. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. Two minds steadily manifested on thoughts. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. Two soldiers about to do this pickup.
Oh, wait.
Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. It's you and I.
If it's depth pass and the add pass,
then
we can just clip.
No time to be scared. When we on the point of that, I'm telling them to fill the bag, cause we not getting high. While this time is 5:30, rush hour is thick. So they weed through the cars, get to the toll booth quick. It's a chick, he put it to her head and said it's a stick.
I guess maybe I could just put this.
We out hot with the cops on our trail, dipping and swerving, almost crashed right into a rail. Sweating like hell, they not even trying to.
I could put this in the splat map, I think.
And rob the toll booth for real. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. They choose to break the rules at all costs. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. Two minds steadily manifested on thoughts. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. Two soldiers about to do this pickup, stick 'em up. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. It's you and I. Juniors weaving through the car, speed the cops can't catch. But they gaining on the mic, got a plan for that. Throw the ones in the air, all the cars at the brakes, so they could get out and get some. The cops look dumb, cause they couldn't get through. People blocked the path, so Junior and Nike hit the west side fast. They got their gear stashed somewhere near the train. Smooth getaway, ready to take the loot to the brain. Change the clothes, ditch the bike, I tripped in the trash. Keep it moving, gotta get the loot to the lab. Breathing heavy, moving quickly, situation sticky. The whole mission was ill. They gotta wait smooth for real. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. Two choose to break the rules at all costs. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. mind steadily manifest on all thoughts. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. Two soldiers about to do this pickup, stick 'em up. Do or die, I'm saying it's you and I. It's you and I. Sinister beings invasion.
Alright, we got the terrain shader working. It's beautiful. It's such a simple thing, but having it working is like, wait a minute. Okay, good. I was like, what? Why was that not turning completely black?
Rapping force, take no shorts, motivating. Never waiting, stay debating, cause there's no escaping. It's all about elevating. Little nigga from the south side, part of Queens. Where sons move fast, get blast, so material things change. Diamond rings,
So I feel like
I
I feel like I really made the right choice doing this simpler with a forward rendered engine, because for example, I do not see how I could do this sort of additive blending system if this was like a realistic deferred renderer.
Smoking constantly, weed and fonta leaves to be and not to be. Street Connect will be the death. Hey, yo, my destiny, staying live. Forget my enemy, the Hennessy.
Alright,
Had me thinking
so
that this
next
shit is
thing-
risky. Up in Poughkeepsie while I'm dealing, funny feelings hit me. Out of towners with propellers, I know they wanna get me. Criminal individual thing, cause it's predictable. Niggas is miserable. Assing out pays is pitiful for phony fake. 6 snake niggas.
I'm just looking at the shadows and the shadow dithering here. It causes noise when the shadow's at the sharp angle like this.
We must communicate, operate with our options. We just be clocking, pushing weight to get your cheddar. Tommy Hill knit his sweater, living better with the Beretta. Whatever's clever, sipping on Amaretta, keeping it real on the block always and forever. Qualification, you're not my fam, it's no relation. Throwing gas and respiration, stopping all circulation. The medication is the weed, Remy and Moe. Niggas don't know me, I went from braids to a blowy. If you wanna get down and you don't roll, we rolling over you. Drug riches, destiny, you shitey bitches. If you wanna get down and you don't roll, we rolling over you. Our soldiers running with gas and they hosts uncontrollable.
Stop glamorizing, the temperature's rising and guns is busting. Police handcuffing, guards walking the streets puffing, but that's nothing. The God is moving cautious and quickly, so try to get me. I'm more leery when I'm tipsy and ambitious, lacing things something ridiculous. I end the new year like St. Nicholas and have you sick of this, the wickedest with visions, head-on collisions, decisions that almost got me bullet incisions. A tale from the crib with burgundy lips and roach clips. All up in the club with no whip, but drinks and dollar tips. See, like you gotta fuck me for free. No dignity, I got stuff. Be in your dreams like a monster. Laid the fuck up in the
Hold
cut.
on, I'll be right back.
In New York with a skywalk like Luke. Boy, I smoke ass on my new. Get the boot like Can Click. I am shit and write about the story in the pamphlet. Handle it, my mind is eternally candlelit.
Street Connect, click, rolling, holding, posing, taking flicks on some next shit, making moves to correct it. Hustling earlier than breakfast to put the ice on my necklace. Watch your step, cause I'm reckless. Life is precious. Choose the presence or the essence.
Things revolve around my cipher like sun, stars, and crescents and lessons. My obsession for the Street Connect session. Protection, all we care about is getting paid like a legal aid. On stage, it's blizzard lyrics we blaze. It's a phase. All we got left is days.
Blaze the Dutchies as my diamonds clean. Niggas came to touch me, but luckily I keep the vest under my rugby. Street Connect, 40 projects is where my thugs be. You violated QCF, nigga, you showed no love for me. Fuck a name on wax, you got to deal with this. True lyricist, Street Connect, yeah, we be the realest. You said I'm weak, but now my brain speak to make you feel this. Hitting sounds got your head numb like painkillers. If you wanna get down and you don't roll, we rolling over you. Drug riches, destiny, you shitey bitches. If you wanna get down and you don't roll, we rolling over you. Our soldiers running with gas and they hosts is uncontrollable. If you wanna get down and you don't roll, we rolling over you. Drug riches, destiny, you shitey bitches. If you wanna get down and you don't roll, we rolling over you. Our soldiers running with gas and they hosts is uncontrollable.
Yeah, put it up, yeah, yeah, put it up, yeah, put it up, put the hands up, yeah.
Being promoted for the job he did on the streets of the H2O, where the pushers sell the drugs that the government allows in the country, and then they do time. Get caught with a nickel bag, brother man. Get caught with a nickel bag, sister lady, on your way to get your hair fixed. You'll do Big Ben.
Yo,
Big
his
Ben is
recognition
time.
to God bodies on inner city streets that fell and hit the curb hard massively. Elevated to the top, but started at the
I'm just
bottom.
sort of
Maintained position
deciding what I
relevant,
want to do.
became a victim to a substance that you pushed on block. Now your life
I
is
think
off
I'll
the
work on
remote.
particle
Hot
shaders
box,
now.
Without any guidance at home, your moms was always out drunk, so you was able to roam. At the age of 13, you entered the drug scene and then dropped out of high school at the age of 15. At the age of 18, planted your seed in your earth. Allah blessed you both with a beautiful birth. But this birth had to be fed without a neglect. And without an education, you can't get no respect. Searching for employment was nothing but disappointment. So you went for Duff and got your own employment. On the streets, you accumulated cream for your seed and inherited material for necessity needs. Blew the spot, had workers out on almost all blocks. From North Main to South Main, and H2O was mad hot. You even shorted brothers for the cheddar and their crops. And even worse, you said prices was high on the stock. But on the L, you was puffing up wools and it fell into a realm where later on it would be easy to tell the truth, no doubt. It was all going down. The empire you have, it was on its way to the ground. Cause overnight you introduced your mouthpiece to the pipe and took your life into a realm where it was hard to see light. Yo, from riches to rags, from dime pieces to crabs, from puff and lie smoke to cop and crack on the app. To change your life, be a reflection of a physical that fell. And the manhole to the depths of hell. Once a player, but now you stand all played out. The latest dope crackhead dealer, the rumors be about. God bless. I know your days are filled with enough stress, but on your journey never cease to hold it down your back.
I'm writing rhymes for the ghetto dwellers, building the cellars, fat concepts and steps for the storytellers. Preparing rounds like product on the block. Mad hot, watch your back black and get bagged in the plot. What you thought it couldn't happen? Better wise up for the Undertaker be exercising you up. It really doesn't matter where you're from, son. You could be a big dick nigga, still get done. See around my way, niggas act mad tripe. Playing Russian roulette with the next man's life. Games and situations similar to Vietnam. Not a day goes by where the night seems calm. I used to lay in my rest with a bag of Buddha blessed, getting set. Now the times occupied with stress. Shit is a mess. I used to run games with niggas that changed like the weather. Now shit strange, cause the love's faker than clever. But I still got love for my niggas, no doubt. Even though I can't figure these actions out. So watch the love, son. Watch the love. For you and your crew be resting above. Now my man wanna front big time on the regular. Out in public places, talking on the cellular. You got a dip, let us put your whip. Brought a jewels fly again, now she took you on a trip to St. Elsewhere, cause you couldn't see clear. Now the next man's pushing up from the rear. He got your jewels, he got your dip, pushing your whip, but you couldn't see nothing, so you got stripped up. Material things, mad cash, she kept the stash and was plotting on the day. Your ass would crash and be ass out. A no-name herd with no clout. Yo, the pussy for the loot, that's what she was about.
Yo, from riches to rags, from dime pieces to crash, from puff and lie smoke to cop and crack on the ab. This changing life be a reflection of a physical that fell in the manhole to the depths of hell. Once a player, but now you stand all played out. The latest dope crackhead dealer, the rumors be about. God bless. I know your days are filled with enough stress, but on your journey never cease to hold it down your best.
Being promoted for the job he did on the streets of the H2O, where the pushers sell the drugs that the government allows in the country, and then they do time. Get caught with a nickel bag, brother man. Get caught with a nickel bag, sister lady, on your way to get your hair fixed. You'll do Big Ben. Big Ben is time. Time.
I'm on a lifetime mission or a quest for death. In conditions of the system, puff assess. I'm stressed, niggas dying for less, trying to see better. Witness terror, cream addiction, fish in the streets for hitting treasures. Sipping fine wines, the finest dimes to endeavor. Laid back, counting mad stacks, now and forever. Check the status, beat me flipping like I'm acrobatic. Too much soul for one mental whole, cause of reactions. Born in the money maker, but raised in the Bronx where the streets was blazing hot. Amazed by the skunk, we ran deep and played the block. Claimed stolen land with plans of major stock to bless the whole fam, but damn, it's a hustle. Gotta struggle just to stay alive. Broken dreams of making millions since 85. Many tried and died, eyes on paradise. But I strive with pride till I see that afterlife. Get it, long as you live it, time keeps slipping. Maintain though the drama got your mind tripping. Touching fine women holding bigger salary. Living trife life, speak verbal reality. Get it, long as you live it, time keeps slipping. Maintain though the drama got your mind tripping. I'm touching fine women holding bigger salary. Living trife life, speak verbal reality. Night after night drifting, hitting L's, reminiscing, wanting the riches, another world of existence. Deadly intentions, nothing for phonies to listen to. Persona karma, then a smooth criminal hitting you, lifting you to new levels. Everything is far from settled. I'm stressed too. I stuck them same demons that possess you. The black knights that grab tight, hit skins and crash mics, surviving the torment that haunts me from past lives. Get it, long as you live it, time keeps slipping. Maintain though the drama got your mind tripping. I'm touching fine women holding bigger salary. Living trife life, son, verbal reality. My ghetto culture getting closer to the end of time. Feeling vital signs, heavy drama on your mind. Drastic, no rest from the cradle to the casket. Sky's the limit, this nigga trying to blast past it. At last kid, we're maxing in the illest of fashion. In the rockin' chair, relaxing, daughters playing and laughing. Hitting L's with passion, open, holding crazy cream. Bringing to reality what I witnessed in dreams. Morality, living right, keeping game mad tight. I told you black nights, young cats be dying in gat fights. Life's crew, the corner had to school some fools. Witness danger, played it cool, Willie laid the rules. Some got knocked and locked, facing life without the crow. Shit could knock your blocks, get a grip, hold your soul. It's like a paradox going through this, like I was born to do this. Ancestors felt the pressure, tell me what the truth is. Get it, long as you live it, time keeps slipping. Maintain though the drama got your mind tripping. I'm touching fine women holding bigger salary. Living trife life, speak verbal reality. Get it, long as you live it, time keeps slipping. Maintain though the drama got your mind tripping. Touching fine women holding bigger salary. Living trife life, speak verbal reality. Get it, long as you live it, time keeps slipping. Maintain though the drama got your mind tripping. Touching fine women holding bigger salary. Living trife life, son, verbal reality. Get it, long as you live it, time keeps slipping. Maintain though the drama got your mind tripping. I'm touching fine women holding bigger salary. Living trife life, son, verbal reality.
My philosophy advanced the energy. You thought give me a chance from my stance. Blackstone, it's the outdoor material. Word imperial, luck like that charm in your cereal. The prize just north of the border on the east side. Somebody come and play. I hope your body caretaker for the mess. Wanna be mass up the ceremony. You got your cheese cause you're phony. It's all about emotion, notion. I don't give a damn how much you got for promotion. You're headed upstream and the current quite strong. Thinking long range, but your frequency was wrong. Once again, it's over. Another happy go lucky. Leave the child's play the chunder. Stand, been here, I'm playing, talking to you, my man, my man. When I'm coming through, it's like this. I represent Toronto coming through. Separate, disappear like the mist at night. Call me the fog, I'm coming through. I'm taking tours. Been here, I'm saying, do you understand? Yo, my man. Blood on your shoulder. My thoughts move boulders, debris. Sight times 3. Here's the pesticide, step aside where it's home. I attack like swarm, people dead. Starve. It's the Galactica from the stars. Geometric got more almost in the station. What do you do? I hold the clutch, shift the gears, decloak, appear. Opposite fears like this. What? Swing, miss, a book's like a laser. No method of thought can save you. I intend to keep it real for those who like thoughts. Be so behold under the wrath of Blitzkrieg show. My satellite input data. Make your teeth chatter. Talk about the matter. What's the matter? What's the matter? I've been here, I'm saying. Understand, been here, I'm saying. Talking to you, my man, my man. When I'm coming through, it's like like this. Represent Toronto coming through. Check it, I've been here, I'm saying, I'm freaking on the track. The niggas from TO, check it out, they got me back. Yo, I be the thrust coming through with the locomotion, coming through smooth, solid like the ocean. I never try to write a hit, inspiration, my creation. Facts, I put facts down like basin. Tell me who you chasing on the case like Mason. Notorious and night, the ever thinking. It's quicksand, it's sinking. While you be pretty in pink, the West is overflow. Who's the loser, beggar of the chooser? What are the tropical, topical, Toronto living real? Even the stage with the seal. Understanding this concept to be correct, you can say that I'm hitting on the set. Now, I've been here, I'm saying. Understand, been here, I'm saying, talking to you, my man. I've been here, I'm saying. Do you understand? Been here, I'm saying, talking to you, my man, my man. When I'm coming through, it's like this. Represent Toronto coming through. Separate, disappear like the mist at night. Call me the fall, I'm coming through. I'm taking charge. Been here, I'm thinking. Do you understand? Do you understand? Talking to you, my man. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? I'm talking to you, my man, my man. When I'm coming through, it's like this. You know what I'm saying? Come out to my man, Frankenstein. My man Scam on the production tip. Grassroots. DJ X, Nasty Howie. Of course, knowledge yourself. We going for hours, you know what I'm saying?
What does this get material do? So I mean, like, should I just... I feel like default materials suck. You never use default materials. But at the same time, I probably should define a default material.
We got to get this loot for my seed and my wisdom. He needs pampers, I'm amped to turn the first brother I see into a casualty for cheese. Ease back, Corey's the real fat cat. One of the normal likes to
terrain material, UI material.
Understand why my brother C couldn't stop.
That's just the default Unity built-in.
With the vest on his chest, wilder than the West. When Corey rolled up, brothers respect. Forget bets. The only one I'm making is that the life that my man led is leading to disintegration, incarceration. Core might be facing deportation. Back to Barbados with the Bajans. Aces up his
Unity
sleeve.
built-in default. Okay.
Made the judge believe that the shit is C
I kind of get the idea of what I gotta do here. So
had enough dough to let his wife pick dresses like his son pick boogers.
I might just include all the shaders right here.
Take it from me, the living style ain't the right plan. When I examine everything for so long, it's so hard.
I'm not sure. I feel like doing hide in an inspector, but
Got to live in this life, man. Take it from me, the living style ain't the right plan. When I examine everything for so long, it's so hard to hold on. Don't fold, hold on. Yo, Corey was a hustler, your front, he bust you down like blunts. Stacks of dough, all a nigga wants, plus cuts for the crew. Mad weed residue. Word around the block, Corey's alive, good news. He learned the street rules from cats. Bubbling white stuff in vats. Tit for tatty, even knew how to rap. Yo, figure that. Cat pillar, not a squiller. One night he got drunk off of Paul Mason mixed with the killer. Messed up his head, had thoughts of seeing angels. Different apparitions appearing from all angles. In 10 seconds, the world went by. Tomorrow his girl would cry. Tonight's tears are from his eyes. Everybody knows the tale. Local hero slain, slaughtered her up in jail. For real, Corey is a correlation of all them soldiers who went away on permanent vacation. That cause facing death, no room for error. The angels was really hoods and dark levers. Yo, Corey was clever, he tried to escape, but his past was detrimental, it sealed his fate. Shots were heard in the BK. Brothers give no leeway, strictly gunplay was on today. He went down in the hail of blazing fire. Bullets too numerous, cops couldn't count the amount acquired. Now the men that just done that deed.
Huh, this isn't showing up.
Got away clean. Dreams that he had for him and his fam are now reduced from real things to funeral plans. I am one who walks in the deep. Sent the chronicle to chapters of Corey's on these ghetto streets. When I look back, Corey was cool, reflecting on the things that my man had to do. So
I don't know why this wouldn't show up under
a world champion in the eyes of his friends. Depends on how brothers interpret the story. Whatever you do, don't be another Corey. Word. You got to live in this life, man. Take it from me. The living foul ain't the right plan. When I examine everything for so long, it's so hard to hold on. Don't fold, hold on. You got to live in this life, man. Take it from me. The living foul ain't the right plan. When I examine everything for so long, it's so hard to hold on. Don't fold, hold on.
yeah, why is the shader not listed under here? That's so weird.
out with gas. It's the bro from Shady Grove with the ill-type flow. And after the show, I'm guaranteed to steal your hoe. Hey yo, it's Joey Joe Hops, where's the Buddha bless? The world got me stressed, got my mind in a mess. The natives are restless. Yes, man, we're restless. Even if your name is IQ, you couldn't test this. Cause I represent something like the state senator. Stay strapped with flows like my name was Forrest Whitaker. Living back like the gut on Archie Bunker. You wanna grab steals, play with toys.
Does not have all detail shaders, okay?
Shade up the tower. Baby, keep walking, damn like skin flower.
At the age of 18, my vocal cords engage with puberty, which brings change to play the games to wicked claims. God bless the rest. Did I see a black tomorrow through my pains? My mind's an engine, lips fixed like pistons, or your lubricated thoughts. Beats by two keep me drifting. Without the boon of respect due, the resurrection of you will bring the native off the crew. Although my subconscious style leaves me on the prowl. My versatility.
Why are these floating above the terrain?
Let it soothe you like an ointment, but open your mind and move your butt with enjoyment. The era for diversity is here, which makes you an individual skin flower. Yeah.
Is this a bug? Oh, it looks like... I guess I'm not applying correct scale or something.
Kiss the shit, man, he's like the other. Check it as a swing, this joint just like Kodak. Giving much props to all my peeps in the lowland.
So it's against the terrain when the scale is. So it's actually like the transform is messed up.
Where you at? To my girls at Spellman, where you at? They say SESU, where you at? Yeah, and Morehouse, where you at? To my people at Howard, where you at? Hey, FAMU, where you at? Hey, yo, Southern Tech, where you at? Hey, the AU Center, where you at? Yo.
Object to clip position. Am I doing anything except for object to clip position? Object to clip position. World position. Oh, is it clip? Oh, that's so weird. Does it not let me set a cutoff?
Rampage UK, Hobo
This is so weird. Wait.
I would like to give a shout out to Sam.
So what is cutoff? Is cutoff even set here?
Pay attention. Check it. I'm the one that you should pray to. Cause when it's your time to go, I might be the one who takes you. I won't let shit ride, what for? If I knew I were to die tomorrow, I wouldn't give you a minute more.
Yeah, so cutoff is 0. This doesn't make sense. It gives you this cutoff value.
The almighty arrogant 666 times. In LA, now we snatching them. Have your crew enter, they'll leave with their heads handed back to them. Run game, you won't gain, don't try to. Last nigga who tried to get over couldn't get past the barbed wire. I find time to write about you, who go for platinum, soon to be the next what happened to. Traveling to Earth from planet ill, young. I keep my friends close, my enemies closer enough to kill them. I'm fed up. Shit is about to get sick. I got niggas offended off some shit that I kick. My love for rappers slowly dying. Why? Cause there's always some fake ass nigga that fucks up my I'm fed up. Shit is about to get sick. I got niggas offended off some shit that I kick. My love for rappers slowly dying. Why? Cause there's always some fake ass nigga that fucks up my I'll conquer the best and sentence use interjections, adjectives to describe your death. You can't win because I'm of immortal men. There are many ways to die and I am one of them. Industry MCs
Oh,
hurt
maybe
me,
I am supposed to
especially
use
those
main
who
text
have half-assed
ST.
styles that need rehearsing. It's plain to see a bitch-made nigga with a hardcore rap book is your true identity. You can't hide when you're my target. Past security, fuck up bodyguards to get to the artist. I'll do it foul. Put your bitch on sale, take your worthless raps, yell out a freestyle. I see your style got weak. Some fall off when they get quick money. The underground's brief. A phase you're going through, but still, where you from or your imaging ain't shit if you ain't got skill. I'm fed up. Shit is about to get sick. I got niggas offended off some shit that I can't. Why? My love for rappers slowly dying. Why? Cause it's always some fake ass nigga that fucks up. I'm fed up. Shit is about to get sick. I got niggas offended off some shit that I can't. Why? My love for rappers slowly dying. Why? Cause it's always some fake ass nigga that fucks up. Hey, students wouldn't text, so why you be? I'm not your parent. It will hurt you more than it will hurt me. You got beat, but I see you won't take the risk. Beat around the bush, I'll burn it while you hide behind it. Bullshit,
I wonder if I need to define the properties for this to actually work.
you still ain't shit to me. You do battle, you want no competition. Step into the circle, leaving wishing you never went in. Fake gang shit been played, I'm stopping it. Check it. Whether crip or blood, I'll throw up the opposite. I got more pain to give. I tell you, don't
Oh my god, I need to define the properties for them to exist.
MCs with weak raps. Now you have to apologize for being whack. I hold your life hostage. If you live to see dawn, it's because I allow it. I'm fed up. Shit is about to get sick. I got niggas offended off some shit that I
Cutoff equals 0.5. There should be a way to change the cutout.
I'm fed up. Shit is about to get sick.
With master tricolor billboard.
My love for rappers slowly dying. Why? Cause it's always some fake ass nigga that fucks up my big shout out to Superman Entertainment. Be the almighty arrogant. This goes out to all these bitch-made niggas.
Can't believe there's no cutoff option here.
Don't start none, it won't be none. You know what I'm saying? Around the world.
Unity terrain detail cutoff. Like, so does it actually use cutoff here in the waving grass shader? Or does it do alpha? Alpha equals 1. Clip.
They come around, but they never come close. Do the style precise both. Shut your mouth, cause your flow blow comatose. Who's the most?
Alpha test greater cutoff.
Bring your favorite sauce when you come round because I roast.
I guess it does.
Leaves you comatose. Like junkies on my corner. You're sick by overdose of preciseness.
Set alpha cutoff.
Conciseness. Priceless, I'm minded. This is righteous. Combine this. Get the gist of the abyss. The sisters rolling with. We got the Soundboy Mass collection and the spliff. Flavor like a cup of Swiss Miss. I got the hit. Who's next to flex after the fans catch my shit open like Vicks? Inhaling, Japan the shelling, wailing. Probable cause roots, nomenclature, how I'm sailing.
They come around, but they never come close to. They come around, but they never come close. They come around, but they never come close to. They come around, but they never come.
So I think I need to use all cutoff shaders because all the terrain rendering is going to happen under the same layer mask, and that's the only way I can mask shadows in my system. So I need to make it cut off, otherwise shadows aren't going to work from grass, and I think also it'll just generally make it way faster and more efficient.
Negative abolish, positive vibe, because I'd rather knowledge. Now do the college, from cottage projects with temptation objects. You're positive my concepts. Don't sleep like Freville, I got you up on bone like marrow. Fly like sparrow, Cupid arrow, coming barrel to my barrel, Brooklyn. Better known as Brooklyn. I dwell under the big clock and seldom get mistaken, looking shooken by the last born. Downright Sassian. Hardcore no flora, the flow like Caspian.
Now let's see if we can get these casting shadows.
I think you're playing me close. I got your
Rendering shadows. I've got depth pass here. And I've got output surface, which means it should be outputting putting the depth inside the light.
Yeah, y'all. No doubt. Gonna hit you with that NYC flavor. Live at London, y'all.
Maybe it's just too small to show up in the light. Oh. Huh. Is that a bug?
I be the first letter, you ain't know. Check the alphabetical order. My natural elements, chemical slaughter to leave the crew more bloodier. The menstrual waters on the 28th. Your thoughts are
Oh, I think shadow bias. Oh, so that, first of all, it's the shadow bias on the terrain.
I cause mayhem, like my DJ. I blow parties out like candles on the cake on VJ. I end battles like DJ, so check me. What I look like, the SAT, don't stress me or test me. Let's see who's the best.
I leave you messy, heavens to Betsy. I get sassy like old bitches trying to be sexy. Sporting bikinis, I squash them C's like zucchini.
Hey yo, L, imagine Houdini pumping two beats.
Yeah, so the shadow bias isn't changing with the terrain detail at all. Shadow bias should be set.
Hey yo, let's get back to this predated CD. I'm crazy, I be freaky. Niggas ain't seeing me like a Middle Eastern peace treaty. It be that two-face, you get your crew lace. What? My breast pumping, I need some two-face. What? Ha, I get loose, then I'm side shoelace.
For they blue face, I take you cool fake like Tupac. No gotta wonder who shots. I blew spots like 22 shots from a ooh-wop.
My shots will make the squad bounce like doo-wop. I used to write rhymes on Grand Project rooftops, and now my crew rocks. From BX to new lots, I see sex like two cops.
I guess I'll add shadow bias here. There we go.
On the block like new kids. L niggas wanna battle.
Yo, they must be retarded, deaf, dumb, blind, slow, and stupid.
True kid, natural E, we got your heart like Cupid. On Valentine's Day.
Nice. Okay. So now we have grass with shadows. Alright. I'm kinda getting tired for this morning. I don't know, I'm like so close to finishing. I just need to do these billboards and particle shaders. It's almost like taking motivation away in a way. It's like, don't have that far to go. But anyways, I think I'm gonna come back in like 2 hours after lunch and we'll finish this up. We'll finish the terrain detail shaders. One of the things I'm not sure I'm thinking about spending time on is it has this, in the Unity terrain, it has this built-in wind system. I don't know where it is, right here, wind speed. But it's actually really inconsistent. And I was thinking of doing my own wind system. So the actual issue is that grass can wave with this system, but that's the only thing. So if you want to do like another tree or some bush that's not part of the terrain system, as far as I'm aware, you can't access this wind setting. I should look into this. But basically, I was thinking of making a global wind setting so that this can all be under one thing and you can just have all the objects coherent when it comes to wind. So I kind of got to think about that. We'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you again this afternoon for more Unity programming. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day.